Tonight. Joining me tonight, Michelle Simpson Tuegel. She's a civil attorney, former criminal defense attorney. Eklund Mercy is with us, as well as Lawrence Zimmerman, criminal defense attorney and president of the Georgia Association of Criminal Defense Lawyers. All right, Eklund, is there a problem down in Glynn County?
Yes, it's called racism. It's systemic. It's from top to bottom, bottom to top. You can see that how it's just infected that whole county with regards to this investigation, Ahmaud Arbery. But for this video, but for the amount of public pressure, it would not have gone this far. And we can see that. There was an attorney who has a bar card just like mine, and he made a 7-page, 6 to 7 page dissertation on why these men should not be prosecuted. And that's a problem. And it really, as a criminal defense attorney who has practice in Georgia, the Atlanta metro area is pretty, it's pretty up to date. We still have some issues, but when you go to the outskirts, I mean, it's really thick with it. The racism is thick with it. And, we have the attorneys who have to deal with that every day. There are decisions that have to be made. It's either, do you fight the system and at the expense of your client, or do you push the system at the expense of maybe coming into an overzealous investigator, an overzealous prosecutor? Like it's really it's ingrained. It's ingrained in these counties. It's in it. And the citizens see it every day. And this is the first time for the world to see how it actually works from the top to the bottom.
Lawrence, are you seeing this the same way?
Yeah, I mean, listen, I'm not going to deny there's racism in the state of Georgia and in Glynn County. I don't know that county very well. I mean, certainly just looking from the outside in, I can certainly see it has the optics. This is a tragedy that has destroyed the county. But I don't know the McMichaels. I don't know anything. I don't need to know anything about them. So I'm not going to presume this is based on race. But I mean, obviously, I could see why a lot of people think that just based on the way this whole thing went down. And historically, a couple white men in a pickup truck stopping a black man obviously has very historical racial overtones. But we'll have to see what the case is about. And I don't really know anything other than what we've seen on TV and read. And I'm not the lawyer in the case. So we'll find out eventually.
Well, I've got some new information for us tonight. Michelle, I want you to take a listen to this because the property owner who has this construction site where we see Ahmaud before everything happens, and he's seen there on prior dates. The man who owns that property was in communication with local police because when something would happen on a video, he would contact police. He would send them clips that he had recorded. Well, he got a text message from one of the officers, and this is back in December, okay? And this is after he sent them a video of a looks like a white couple, Caucasian couple that's walking into his site. And the officer writes to him, "Your neighbor is Greg McMichael. Greg is retired law enforcement and also a retired investigator from the DA's office. He said, please call him day or night when you get action on your camera." And then they give him the phone number. And I'm looking at this and I'm like, are the police really giving information to a homeowner that if you've got a situation where someone's breaking into your construction site, that you should call the ex-cop?
Yeah. I mean, it's really unbelievable when you read that text message, but it also, even if you look at it in whatever light some people might look at it, you're still seeing someone, and you're seeing these guys who hunted down a young man for 4 minutes, we know now, and then murdered him. And I don't care if you're a police officer or if you're a retired police officer, that does not give you the right to corner someone and murder them, which is exactly what they did. And, at the worst, what we know with the facts so far is that Mr. Arbery had at the worst committed a trespass on that property. There is no evidence that he had done anything more than a number of other individuals had done on the same property and not been hunted down and murdered like Ahmaud Arbery was.
And the 4 minutes you're talking about, that hasn't been confirmed, but I know that is the chatter that's on social media. The defense, one of the defense attorneys held a press conference last week, and they vaguely spoke about other videos and timestamps and everything. So we'll see if it is 4 minutes. But we have a map where we kind of outline the route that was taken here. Again, all this is taking place in the Brunswick, Georgia area, down in Glynn County. And on the map, you can see two places. You see the home under construction. We know Ahmaud was there, and then takes off from there and is apparently seen jogging from there and goes down the road past the McMichaels home, which at some point, I guess they start following him. But somehow, some way, he appears to double back. And I don't know how the McMichaels get in front of him. I don't know exactly how all that goes down. And I don't know about Roddy Bryan when he joins the whole thing. But if it's 4 minutes in such a small area, Eklund, I don't understand what is going on down there. Like, what exactly was going on? But it seems there is more video to see here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think they were trying to corner him. I mean, it seems clear with that third person that they were really closing in on him. And I think that is why there have been calls for that third person to be at the least more investigated. I think it's Mr. Bryan. I don't think he has been arrested at this point. Yeah. I mean, why aren't we looking at him?
Not arrested, not charged.
Yeah. Because
his client says he's completely innocent. His lawyer says he's completely innocent. Go ahead, Eklund.
I can't. That was a snuff film. That was a snuff film. They made a snuff film. They recorded their actions so they can drink beer and laugh at it. They weren't arrested until May, so they had more than enough time to do that. That was a snuff film. They cornered that man.
Well, let me ask you this though, Eklund. Eklund, why would Roddy Bryan show it to police at the scene if in fact the point of the video was for personal enjoyment or whatever?
It worked. Because it worked. Because at the scene, he was free to go. He went home. Honey, he went home. The McMichaels went home. Everything was fine and good and dandy. It worked. At the scene, it worked. He was free to leave. So,
Lawrence, I'll give you the final word on this.
Listen, I'll respectfully disagree with the fact that it's a snuff film. I would suspect that these middle-aged white men, one a former law enforcement agent, would know better than to try to film something if this is all intentional, hunting someone down and killing him. I think actually the video is actually the part of their defense, where it wasn't intentional, where they recorded them trying to make a citizen's arrest, whether it was lawful or not. Everything obviously that went from there. This is why you shouldn't take the law into your own hands. But I respectfully just disagree. I don't think this was a snuff film. I think they probably were doing this, and things went way out of their control.
Then where is the
when we
reaction
come back,
when,
we're going to talk about R. Kelly.
Exactly.
We got to hold it for next time. We ran out of time. That's the only time I cut people off is when we're out of time. But we are. So we're going to move on. When we come back, we're going to talk about R. Kelly.